What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, back with some more Subhumans, and indeed, as promised, I've come back to react to Subvert City from the live version, Live in a Dive 2004, recorded at the Showcase Theater in Corona, California. No longer around, like that venue is now defunct, it doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. But as I mentioned, I saw the Subhumans a year later, basically playing the same tour, because they were playing songs from Internal Riot, which was from, I think, '04. So yeah, basically, it was a really great show, and as I mentioned, they played some of the same songs that they played on this album here, but they also played some different ones, including one of my favorites that I first heard on the EP/LP, which is called Not Me. But like I said, I did want to come back and do Subvert City, not only because I really do love that song in its original form from the early 80s, but I do also love the sound here. As I mentioned, by this point, Dick's voice has a bit of a lower register, and also at this show, some of their songs have just a more powerful and forceful sound. I think this is a good example. It sounds like the original, but again, when it really kicks in, it has more oomph than the original, I would say. Lyrically, this one's really interesting to me. I think it's sort of kind of like the Subhumans version of Animal Farm. I think, it's sort of talking about how in a really sort of corrupt system with, really degraded urban conditions, low living standards, despite, the leading parties talking about, family values and caring for the citizens and so on. Well, that will lead to discontent, that will lead to dissonance, that will lead to direct action, resistance, and so on, and people writing, fuck the government on the wall and spray paint and so on. But then the song sort of talks about, eventually those people might be able to purge those leaders and cast them out and so on and keep them at bay. And then by the time, maybe some of them try to come back, the people run things. Well, but over time, those very same people have then instituted their own corruption. They've, made exceptions and excuses for their own families and nepotism and so on. And so at the end of all that, there's going to be some other people who are writing fuck the government on the wall, despite the fact that the people who then run the government were originally, seen as sort of dissonant and trying to root out corruption and so on. So again, sometimes the Subhumans lyrics have specific references to British, UK politics, and so I'm not sure, maybe there's some aspect of this I'm missing, but again, the way I took this when I heard it back in the day as a teenager is that it was sort of like an Animal Farm, the idea that sometimes liberators become oppressors, and there's a Dead Kennedy song, Where Do You Draw the Line, from their Bedtime for Democracy album. Same thing, it talks about this idea that sometimes people who liberate things end up turning into dictators, and it's sort of this ironic twist. So here we go. This is Subhumans, Subvert City, from their Live in a Dive album 2004. Have a friend. Cat's sitting right now, so I have a cat friend right here.
Someone cried out, and the people went cold. Subvert, 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 subvert. And all went quiet in the city, and the wind blew down the road. Someone cried out, subvert, and the people went cold. Subvert, 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 subvert. Meanwhile, back in Subvert City, someone's writing on the wall, fuck your government, spread my hero. The someone wants the sensible, living just on my crucified. A ritual slaughter, no one died. Living standards were dying foes, a state control by suicide.
An urban Jonestown.
Someone cried out, subvert, and the people went cold.
Wicked. It's like psychedelic punk rock.
Subvert City, context living underground. The separate just lift and fire. I block the holes, I got them down. 10 years later, they emerge. Protecting my soul from the hate. Try it again, the change the system. This time round, it was too late. There was no system left to change. The people ran the entire land. The suffers became politicians. I finally got the upper hand. Meanwhile, back in Subvert City, someone's writing on the wall. Fuck your government. Subvert City, it's Subvert rule.
That last part is like key to my interpretation of the song. Obviously. Yeah, it's an amazing song. As I said, the original is great, but I really do like that version. This has a lot of power to it. As I mentioned, it's a great live show. There's 26 songs on that album, and not only do they include some of the ones from their, at the time, most recent album, Internal Riot, but they have, you know, many of their older stuff, many of their older songs. So it's a super great album. Let me know if you like that song. Let me know if you're a fan of this album. Let me know if you don't like the sound of the live version versus some of the old ones. I know sometimes people, like, you know, they hear the album version first and they sort of key in on that, and then sometimes at a live show it's like, oh, I liked it, but it didn't sound the way, you know, I sort of have come to understand that song. I get how that happens, but you know, anytime you can see one of your favorite bands in person, even if a song sounds a little bit different than you expect or whatever, I just think it's a great opportunity. So yeah, like I said, very happy that I got to see them a year after they did this show. They didn't play this song, which I was sort of waiting to see if they would, because it was such a cool sound on this album. But yeah, like I said, they did play Not Me and a couple other songs that I really, really like from them that weren't in this show, so it was sort of a good balance. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're a fan of the Subhumans, or at least through some of these videos you might be becoming more of a fan. Would make me very happy to hear. Nevertheless, let me know if you have any requests or recommendations. Always looking for feedback. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Peace.